So we're here talking about End of Nations. It's a massively online, persistent, real-time strategy game. One of the big things here is that it's massive. So in our player versus player game, we have maps of all different sizes, everywhere from 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 4 versus 4, all the way up to 28 versus 28. We're also going to have a full co-op campaign, and even that is multiplayer, so up to 4 players at least in every map, and we'll have co-op maps that are also up to 56 players. And in the PvP, we're going to have a bunch of different game types as well. So we have a domination map where you're accumulating points, base versus base, one where one's assaulting a base and one's defending. Also a last man standing mode where whoever lasts the longest wins. And survival maps too, so you're just you by yourself or with friends or fighting against waves and waves of AI. So we really want to give a wide variety to players so we can see what they like, what they're interested in, and then continue to give the kind of content that the players are interested in. When we plan in the autumn of this year to release our full cooperative campaign. This is the 2-player factions playing with each other against the Order of Nations, which is the big bad dictatorship in the game. So what you'll do is play through a full storyline where you'll play through maps that hold at least 4 people. So you can have you and your friends can play through the entire co-op campaign together, as opposed to a lot of traditional RTSs where the maximum number of players usually you'll find the co-op is 2. So something that hasn't been seen before. We'll also have really large co-op maps that'll be fighting large boss vehicles and highly scripted events, and really sort of a high-quality, story-driven campaign for players. And you'll be able to earn rewards through this and gain experience. Be able to be exposed to a lot of unique situations and maps. So every map we make is associated with a particular area, and we do have a lot of maps that look like that. We played a 4 versus 4 map today in France, which takes place in an old French fort. So we do include landmarks and other objects in there to make things familiar, and we think it's fun just to be able to have battles in places that really exist. A lot of players are used to playing a game in which you build structures in the map, and those structures will have units come out of them, and that's kind of how you play. That's not our game at all. We want players to be strategizing before they even go in. So since you have this persistent character, part of that is collecting units and earning new units just from going down your build tree from earning experience. And then you take those units and decide what you want to bring in the map with you. And also you might want to coordinate with other players to decide what they're bringing in the map. Then once you're there, what you're doing is concentrating on your squad, which is maybe 10, 15, or 20 units depending on what you want to bring in. Instead of worrying about all the micromanaging of a base. We want a game that's a little more, we're making a AAA high quality game that's also free to play. Trion and Petroglyph have been working on this game for over 3 years. Petroglyph has a full development team. Most of their staff is working on this game, and of course, a huge infrastructure at Trion supporting this. It's a huge investment we're making in this game. We want to make a high quality AAA MMO RTS. And that's what we're going to do. Well, I think from our point of view, it's great to create a situation in which people can try your game. I think that's a big part of it, getting as many people to look at it and try it out as possible. One of the things we're trying to do with End of Nations is bring people back to the strategy genre. And one way to do that is to make it more accessible. And you don't have to worry about the micromanagement of base building, which I think is tough for some people. Also, competitively, a lot of people approach RTS and are intimidated because they feel like they're just going to lose and lose and lose, and there's a really high learning curve. For us, when you have a map, when you have 28 people in it on your team, you don't have that pressure. You can just be one of a team and just support. And you can slowly learn and become more comfortable. So that's one way we're approaching the more casual player. I think giving them opportunity to kind of ease into the game. For a hardcore player, there's a lot of depth here. You still have to micromanage your units. You have to know how your units are good against other units, and also learning the unit abilities and the tactical structures and how the individual maps work. And you got to remember, you also need to know how all the other units work. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be releasing everything in this year, 2012. In summer, we're going to be releasing all our PvP maps that we have, and as well as a tutorial and a lot of other things. And then come autumn time frame, we're going to release the full cooperative campaign. but there really is no end to the release. You know, we'll be continually adding maps and units and balancing. One of the great things of being a massively multiplayer online game. I hope you enjoy the game. We sure enjoy making it, and I hope to see you online.
Concentrate fire on the gun.